What kind of witness does Edgeworth plan on bringing out now? There's no way he would just throw around all those big boy words for the sole purpose of intimidating me.
You'd best prepare yourself a fresh set of trousers, right? For this witness resides on another plane of usefulness in comparison to the feeble-minded fools this courtroom has had the displeasure of meeting.
Sorry about that, pal.
Come forth, my decisive witness.
That's it? The decisive witness you've been clamoring on about?
Yeah, what's the big idea, Mr. Edgeworth? This decisive witness doesn't even have the decisive boobies!
And neither do you, old-timer. So do you want my information or not?
Who's this asshole coming into my courtroom and talking smack like he owns the joint?
Why, I oughta.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Stuart Porter. I'm a bellboy at the Gatewater Hotel.
Alright, from now on, you are bellboy.
Hey, my name is Stuart Porter.
Gotcha! On with the testimony, bellboy.
First, my name is Stuart Porter. Get it right. Second, I was serving Miss May and Mr. White fancy-ass rich people drinks at the time of the murder. So there's absolutely no way Mr. White could have murdered anyone.
Hold it! Are you saying you saw both Miss May and Mr. White in the hotel room?
Miss May told me he was there, and, well, now that you mention it, I guess I never actually saw Mr. White.
So, what you're saying is, Mr. White doesn't have an alibi after all.
Objection! You cursed bellboy! You promised me a solid testimony! All you have given me is a testimony of the gaseous variety!
But you gotta understand, those breasts, they were hypnotizing.
You can expect a salary cut in your next review.
You can't do that, I don't even work for you.
This court approves of the bellboy's salary cut. Now get out of my court, you despicable excuse of a human being!
The name is Porter! Stuart Porter! Why won't you cretins understand?
Let's go, pal. Time to get off the stand.
Don't touch me, peasant!
Come on, pal. It's all right. Want to go get some ice cream or something?
No, I don't. Yes, ice cream. Let's do the ice cream.
So, are we still gonna go with Mr. White being the killer?
Of course not! That's just silly. But it shan't stop me from calling my final decisive witness.
Objection! Can you, stop doing that? Unless you're confusing the word decisive with worthless, then you haven't called a single decisive witness this entire trial!
Well, right. You can just shut the hell up. Witness, name and occupation, now!
My, Mr. Edgeworth. One does not need to get angry with my fabulousness. The name is Red White, and I am the CEO of Blue Corp.
Blue Corp? Never heard of it.
Blue Corp functions as a company that gathers information.
And blackmail. Don't forget the blackmail.
Right, the blackmail. They do that too. Anyway, there is absolutely no reason to suspect Mr. White of murder.
But what about the note? You're the only one who could have written it.
Oh, I can explain that fabulously. I was visiting with Miss Fay the morning of the murder.
Hold it! What were you doing in Miss Fay's office so early in the morning?
I was inquiring her about that lovely clock that the defendant used to kill Miss Fay with.
Oh, the thinker?
Right, the thinker.
So, you should totally add that to your testimony.
And why should I do that?
Oh, no reason. I just thought you'd like to talk about things some more.
Oh, you know me so well, Mr. Wrong. I was interested in purchasing Miss Fay's fancy little clock, the Thinker.
Objection! Say, Mr. White, how did you know this was technically considered a clock?
What are you getting at, Mr. Wrong?
I'm not getting at anything. I was only wondering, when was the last time anyone in this room referred to the statue as a clock?
Objection! You expect us to call this statue with no numbers or any useful time-telling business a clock?
As a matter of fact, I do. It is a clock after all.
I've got to agree with Mr. Wright on this one. One time I saw a picture of a clock on the internet, and it totally looked like that.
Very well. The judge has irrefutably proven that the Thinker is a clock. Moving on to my next bit, who the hell cares? What does this gaudy statue being a clock have to do with anything? It's not like a magical contradiction buried in the depths of his testimony just revealed itself with that detail. Oh, of course that's where you're going with it.
To be fair, that is kind of his thing.
So, can I go ahead and prove you wrong? Alright, so, how did Mr. White know the thinker was a clock? Let's recall our wiretap. On it, the victim and the defendant are on the phone, talking about the thinker.
Remember when you called me this morning? You said you wanted me to hold on to something? Oh, the thinker? Yeah, that clock thing that kills people?
And there you have it. Mr. White learned the thinker was a clock from the wiretap, thus proving that Miss May was an accomplice to Mr. White's murder.
Objection! That's just stupid! So you're saying that Mr. White was listening to the wiretap the entire time before committing murder? Why would he need to do that?
I agree. It's not like I had a reason to kill Miss Faye or anything. I'm a nice guy.
Objection! I call shenanigans on that one, Mr. White. You needed to listen to the wiretap. After all, how else were you going to learn where Mia kept her secret documents?
That's not true at all. I have no need for Miss Faye's secret documents.
Then care to explain this?
Objection! Will you stop presenting that blasted piece of paper over and over again for the sake of what little sanity we have left?
Hold up, hear me out on this. I just have to read what's actually on the note. Notice on the other side of the Bloody Maya writing, Mr. White left a rather tasteful message. And by tasteful, I mean blackmail. What I'm trying to say is, Mr. White had blackmailed the victim.
You cannot be serious, right? How is one bloody piece of evidence producing so many contradictions?
Mr. White, care to read what you wrote to the victim?
Dear Miss Faye, you will give me all of those incriminating files against my company. Otherwise, I, Red White, will kill you and take those files myself. Mwahaha.
Wait, he really wrote mwahaha?
Truly, we're dealing with a criminal mastermind here.
So I blackmailed the victim before she was murdered. What of it? You can't even prove I was there on the night of the murder.
I wouldn't be too sure about that. Remember what you told me yesterday?
Why, I even know that you are currently trying to defend Maya Gilligan Faye against the most heinous crime of murder and lamp breaking.
So, how did you know Miss Faye's lamp broke on the night of the murder?
This is most unsplendiferous!
Objection! How can you possibly prove that the lamp was broken on the night of the murder? Were you there at the time of... Oh, right. You were the one that called the police. Bugger.
Exactly, Edgeworth. When I arrived on the scene of the crime, Miss Faye's lamp was already broken, which means the only way Mr. White knew about the lamp's condition was that he was the real killer!
Objection! I call objections on all of you! I am not the killer! Why would I kill a woman with such a hideous taste in jewelry?
Wait a sec. Jewelry? That's it! Mr. White!
What is it now, Mr. Wrong?
I'd like you to empty your pockets.
Pardon me? I believe this is an invasion on my most private of privacy.
Your Honor, I request to have the witness follow my demand.
Mr. Wright, as unorthodox as this is, your notion is sustained. Please empty those pockets, Mr. White.
Let's see, here's the whipped cream, the purple stuff, this tacky necklace.
Hold it! Mr. White, where did you get that necklace?
I bought it at a store where one generally buys things. Yes.
Objection! So sorry, Mr. White, but that necklace is one of a kind, and its sole owner until now? Mia Faye.
Objection! One of a kind? I could totally go online and buy 5 of those if I wanted to. Where's your proof that the necklace in his possession belonged to Miss Faye?
Maya, you care to take this one?
Sure thing! Alright, so that necklace Mr. White is carrying definitely belongs to my sister. It's a Karain family heirloom, and it holds the power to capture souls. Not something you can just pick up at any store, now is it?
Wow, Maya, you're better at this lawyer stuff than I am.
I didn't even have to prove it, I just had to say it. And it worked. Hooray.
Objection! You expect this court to believe some cockamamie tale of capturing souls with a glowing Japanese Christmas ornament?
Well, I certainly believe it, and if I believe it, then what I believe becomes law. Isn't this legal system awesome?
Hey, guess what, Edgeworth? Looks like I actually called a decisive witness. So, as me and Maya have already proven, this necklace is one of a kind and belonged to the victim before she was murdered, which can only mean one thing. Red White is the only one who could have murdered Mia Faye!
No! No! You tricked me, Mr. Wrong!
What are you talking about?
You gave me that tacky necklace on the night of the murder.
Wait!
What? Mr. Wright, what is he talking about? Were you somehow at the scene of the crime before you claimed you were?
Of course not! I was at the detention center at the time, talking to myself.
Objection! I told you not to mess with me, Mr. Wrong. Hear me now, courtroom. I have here the most irrefutable of evidence that Mr. Phoenix Wright was at the Fay & Co. law offices on the night of the murder before he so claims. Feast your eyes on this!
What exactly is this, Mr. White?
What are you? Ah! You did this, didn't you? You stole my evidence and replaced it with this unfabulous doodle of a phallus!
What are you talking about? First off, that clearly resembles a shark. Second of all, you were too busy punching me in the face yesterday. When would I have been able to take your alleged evidence and replace it with this beautiful shark painting?
Hold it, pal!
Gumshoe? Are you actually saving my case?
Dude, I already saved your case when I doodled that shark!
Objection! What do you think you're doing, Gumshoe? Did you forget that you were on my side?
Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, but I'm a detective, see? And a detective never lets injustice prevail. So, Sparkles Magoo over here keeps saying that Mr. Wright was at the scene of the crime at 11:45. Now, frankly, that's just impossible. I submit to the court this photo of Mr. Wright in the detention center. Standard police procedure requires all visitors to take selfies with the convicts. Which is why this photo is time-stamped and all that good stuff.
Do you see? Mr. Wrong has stunt doubles! People who look just like him to carry out his malicious intent!
Do you expect me to actually believe that someone like Mr. Wright has the mental capacity to carry out such an elaborate scheme?
Yeah! Hey, wait!
Besides, that homeless man in the picture looks nothing like Mr. Wright. I mean, he doesn't even have any ridiculous spiky hair.
What, is that the only thing I'm identifiable with anymore? Not even my ridiculously jagged eyebrows?
Mr. Wright raises a good point. The homeless man in the photo has neither of Mr. Wright's only unique features.
That man is not to be trusted. There are dozens of him. Dozens!
Mr. White, for rupturing my ancient eardrums with your unnecessary screaming and making this super obvious trial take for fucking ever, you lose the internet. Also, you get life in prison.
This isn't fair! You haven't seen the last of me, Mr. Wrong! I am hereby instating April May as my successor to the Blue Corp throne. Mark my words, Mr. Wrong. My company will find everything you're hiding.
Yeah, about that. As I'm sure you already knew, Miss May kinda helped you commit murder. So, she's in prison too.
Pardon me? She's Blue Corp's only other employee. Who's going to run my multi-million-dollar company now?
Glad you asked. Following this trial, your assets will be seized by the police.
Ooh, that sounds splendiferous.
I, don't think you heard me correctly. However, what you did here will certainly happen to you in prison. I'm sure you're gonna have a blast. Now someone get him out of here, this trial's over. I find Maya Gilligan Faye.
Wait, what?
Oh, sorry, forced a habit. What I meant was...
Wait, did I just almost lose the case? So, sorry for, crushing your hopes and dreams back there, buddy.
You have done nothing of the sort. Once again, you rely on the help of others to win. What with Red White essentially admitting his guilt every other sentence.
So, you're not mad about losing?
Of course I am. It is simply beneath a man of my status to show it. I'll just bottle it up internally with all my other memories of suffering and torment. And backstabbing. Gumshoe!
Yes, sir?
I assume I am feeling the emotion you call sadness. You are to remedy this matter with a pedicure immediately.
Yes, sir. Hey, speaking of memories, you don't happen to remember a little favor I did for you a while back, do you?
Oh, no you don't. We've been over this, right? Do not talk about summer camp. It was merely a phase. Nothing more than experimentation.
No, that is not what I'm talking about.
Then save it for next time, right? If you can even speak after the pounding I'll give you when we next meet. Come along, Gumshoe.
I'm coming, Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Gumshoe, I can't thank you enough for saving my case.
Don't sweat it, pal. Just think of it as a payment for your wallet yesterday.
Yeah, I'm still gonna need that back.
Oh man.
Maya, I did it! I won the case! What's wrong with you?
I'm still pretty confused about why Mr. White was so insistent on you being at the crime scene last night.
I don't know. I blame the bath salts.
But he was so convinced that there are apparently dozens of you running around the city.
Bath salts, Maya. They're the devil's drug. Everything is their fault. There's no other explanation.
Well, when you say it like that, I guess you've got a point. I might as well thank you for saving my butt and all. Both literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, no problem. Just don't get arrested again.
Don't worry, Nick. I'll make sure to stay out of trouble from now on.
And as we all know, Maya was literally perfect and never got into trouble again. But I wonder, why did Mia want me to review this case? It seems so open and shut. Was there something I missed? Maybe if I look back through the case files one more time.
Now I got the burps.
Yeah, I got the burps, baby. Let's get 'em going.
Okay.